Hi guys, how are you? I hope you are all well. Today is my topic of discussion related to the temporal lobe, its functional anatomy, its structures, its boundaries, and all of the stuff. So, in previous two lectures, first I explained the frontal lobe, then parietal lobe. Now, today's is the temporal lobe. First I draw the structure of the brain. Okay, so this is the central sulcus of the brain, this is the lateral sulcus of the brain, this is the parieto-occipital sulcus of the brain. Okay, so all these the sulcus of the brains. Okay, so today's our topic of concern is related to primarily related to this area. Okay, I have to explain the functional anatomy of this area. So first I draw the structures and functional anatomy. Okay, so first I tell you the borders of this area. So this is all the temporal lobe. Okay, this is all temporal lobe. This is all temporal lobe. What are the boundaries of it? Okay, so the first boundary of the temporal lobe is this. This is the lateral sulcus, which made the superior boundary and anterior boundary of the temporal lobe. Okay, and inferiorly there is a temporal lobe and there is a bone. Okay, and posteriorly there is an imaginary landmark. Okay, I have to imagine it and I have to draw in a dotted line. Okay, in a dotted line, this is imaginary line. What is the landmark of this imaginary line? This is the pre-occipital notch. Okay, this is number one. This is the pre-occipital notch which made the imaginary line which cross-sect the lateral sulcus. Okay, and there is a posterior boundary of the temporal lobe. So superior boundary lateral sulcus, inferior boundary bone, and the posterior boundary number one which is found by the pre-occipital notch. Pre-occipital notch. Okay, so these are all the boundaries of the temporal lobe. So now I explain you the functional anatomy of the temporal lobe. Okay guys, functional anatomy of the temporal lobe. I draw the structure. Okay, this is our brain. Okay, lateral sulcus, parieto-occipital sulcus, and this is the lateral sulcus. Okay, this is the central sulcus. Okay, the first area which is just posterior and inferior to the, what is this area? Just posterior and inferior to the lateral sulcus. This primarily area is called primary auditory cortex. Guys, you know, at the temporal lobe, just near the temporal lobe, our ears are present. So this area is primary auditory area through which we can hear. Okay, this first one is primary number one. Okay, this first one is primary auditory cortex. Okay, first one, what? Primary auditory cortex. Now let's talk the second area which is just inferior to this area. What's the name of this area? This is like parrot color. This area number second. This area is auditory association area. First one is primary auditory cortex, second one is auditory association cortex. Okay, auditory association cortex. So the third one is, which I draw from this color, Okay, I have to draw this is the in a dotted form. Okay, because it's not, we cannot see from, this is the lateral view of the brain, so we cannot see from the lateral view of the brain this area, this third area which I highlighted in dotted form, number 3. Okay, this I cannot draw in lines, I can highlight as a dotted form. So guys, these third number is primary olfactory cortex and association cortex. Okay, primary olfactory cortex and association cortex is the number third area. Okay, these are the area. One more area which is present just over here, here in the green highlighted area. This area, this area is related to Broca's area, which is present in the frontal lobe. So what is the number fourth one is, this is Wernicke's area. Okay, this is Wernicke's area. So guys, you know the boundary, posterior boundary of it. So this is the temporal lobe. This is the labeling of the temporal lobe related to functional anatomy. So now I tell you the functions of each parts of the temporal lobe. So the first area, which is the primary auditory cortex, its function is auditory association cortex related. Okay, so conscious awareness of sound is the function of number first one. Conscious awareness of the sound, first one deal with that. Okay, and the second one is auditory association cortex. Second one is auditory association cortex. Okay, its primarily function is to the awareness of the hearing, auditory voice. Okay, for example, I hear from someone, please help me, so I am hearing the sound help. Okay, what its meaning, so the meaning of the help is controlled by this area, second one. This is the auditory association cortex. Now let's talk about the third area, which is present in the temporal lobe but not view on the lateral side. Okay, so the third area, what's the function of third area? This is primarily olfactory cortex and association cortex also. So the function of this area is conscious awareness of the smell, analyzing, recognition and smell patterns. Okay, so analyzing, recognition and smell patterns is controlled by this area, number third. And last one is the number four. Number 4 area is Broca, not a Broca area. Broca area is present in the frontal lobe. Okay, in the frontal lobe, but in the temporal lobe and little bit in the parietal or occipital lobe, this area is Wernicke's area. Wernicke's area, what's the importance of the Wernicke's area? Importance of Wernicke's area is comprehension of pattern spoken language. Like for example, someone spoke to you and you are listening, you are listening from your ears, all these area number 1 2 3 are involved, but there is a, what are the meaning of that sentence? Okay, we can understand that sentence by with the help of Wernicke's area, which is present in the brain in the temporal lobe, just near to the lateral sulcus. So guys, these are the surface anatomy and functional anatomy of the temporal lobe. So I gonna explain you a little bit more the fifth lobe of the brain, which is insula. Insula is the fifth lobe of the brain. Where is the location? So first I draw the lateral view. Okay, so first I draw the I show you the lateral view. Now I draw the anterior view of the brain and the cross section of the brain from the parietal lobe. Okay, so what is my diagram? Now I can explain with the diagram. Okay, so this is the cross section we can see from the anterior side. Okay, so this is the parietal lobe. Okay, these are the parietal lobe. This is the between the two hemispheres of the brain. This is the, here is the dura maters are present. Okay, and dural septa are present inside. Okay, this area. So this is the temporal lobe, and deep in the temporal lobe, this area I highlighted with another color. Okay, highlighting this area which is present deep in the temporal lobe is insula, which is the fifth lobe of the brain. Okay, it is the fifth lobe of the brain. I highlighted in green. Okay, so what are the function? This is insula cortex. Okay, this is all insula cortex. Okay, insula cortex. What's the function of this? This is visceral sensations controlled by this area, vestibular sensations controlled by this area, gastration sensation which is related to the GIT are controlled by this area, this insular cortex. So this is the fifth lobe of the brain. Okay guys, so all these are related to temporal region. It's the functional anatomy of the temporal region. Okay guys, I hope you can understand this and you can make notes, okay, to see the video, and with side by side you can make the notes properly. I can explain the highlighted points of that area. Okay, so guys, in the next video I explain you the occipital lobe, its functional anatomy. Okay guys, goodbye, good luck, and thank for supporting, and subscribe me, share me, and spread the knowledge. Okay, so guys, goodbye, take care.